Good evening, spirits and specters, and welcome to another spine-tingling, fang-dripping, tingly-wingly episode of Blood from the Stone. A tale of love and dread in RPG. My name is Philip, and I'm the Dreadmaster. For some reason, that really got Lauren.
Tingly-wingly.
Tingly-wingly. Well, the reason of that was that I heard a beeping, and I believe there's like a package is being delivered somewhere out in my hallway, you know, as you know, when the Amazon or USPS packages are sort of scanned, and I heard a beep, and I was like, today or something, is there about to be a knock upon my door? But there was not, for I did not, quoth the raven, nevermore. Welcome. The problem is I said spine tingling, then I said tingly wingly later, so that's just bad. It's repetitive. Although many poets would repeat the same terms for sort of assonance. How's everyone doing tonight? You wonderful players.
Really super.
Tingly
Oh, joining me are these wonderful players. Say good evening, players.
Good evening.
evening, players.
Evening players.
There we go. Boy, I try to say blank on my Monday game, my new Monday game that started this past week, and it was.
Did they do it?
Millie sort of did.
Oh, I did see she tried, but nobody else did, so she went out.
Yeah, it was a situation of like many of the people there just weren't going to.
I love you though, Millie. She's not watching, but if she was,
I don't even think Millie. I think it's more Millie like attempted, but like when it wasn't supported by the rest, it was like okay.
See, you have to have no shame and no sense of dignity on this channel in order to succeed.
True.
I don't bet yet.
It's the shame that drives us.
Yeah,
True.
Okay.
So
we are here for a lot of fun. For more of our horror fun, we have a slightly smaller group here on the final episode of September. A thing I haven't been promoting at all because I forgot because Dan wasn't here.
Well, because you're most excited about Domtober.
I really am excited about Domtober. I love Domtober, you guys. It's important that all the subs support Domtober because without the subs,
You have to.
no. Here's the thing to know: as the Lord of Domtober, without the subs, nothing would change because they're nothing. Okay. Get it? Get what I did there? I did the opposite of what you'd expect. It's called in the joke writing community, that's called a Johnny Reverso. Book and Dagger has a long comment here. I have to read this. Someone vamp while I read.
I'm vamping. I'm good at vamping. Moses, how is the weather in Texas?
Pot. Still feels like summer over here. So.
And probably shall for a while.
Yeah, we're not in silly Texas changey winter yet.
You're not gonna get a blizzard and then an 80-degree day.
Yeah, not yet. It's coming though.
Only if you go to Dairy Queen.
Okay. That was great. God, the DQ.
Well, I was ready with it.
In answer to Book and
Texas stop sign. Hey.
in answer to Book and Dagger's question, or Blood and Dagger, as I call you on the other thing, you can certainly ask lore masters. They can ask lore masters about anything, and lore masters will know. Like some of the lore masters might know the term protomane. Some of the BFAS lore masters. I would say that Walker probably would, so they could ask about that. Very good. That's a little Lost Lore Academia talk, but we're gonna move away from that now and go back into Blood from a Stone, where we are in our vampire era. Is that how did I say it right?
I'm always in my vampire era.
Something about Riz.
No, when I was younger, like a child, I thought that eating a lot, like liking red food, like ketchup and marinara sauce, made me a vampire. So let's continue with the game.
So we're here in the vampire stage, and we have many different threads open. So at present, we're kind of not I'm not doing a recap for everything that's going on. We will, like a TV show, we'll just do the previously on for the things that pop up as they pop up. Big picture is that Dracula has taken over Darkmoor and called all vampires to him. So many of our vampiric characters are en route there. Some have even arrived. Medina and Penny and Bradley are all in different places. One of them is dead, but is still in a place. And then we had a crew of people on the island on what we call the Friendship. That's Sophia's term for it. And all 4 of them at present are being borne upwards to the 13th floor. That one it is possible we'll do that today, but it's actually highly unlikely just because we don't have one of the people for it. So I've put it as a lower priority. Like last week, that was like a pretty big priority. That this week it's smaller, but it's still plausible. So as we prepare for this, I think the first thing that I shall do is read the invocation for chapter 115 of Blood from a Stone, A Tale of Love and Dread, an RPG just 2 away from that sweet, sweet 117. I have seen him do things most unnatural. Once, from my window, I watched as the Count crept forth out of a window across the courtyard. His fingers spread along the masonry, and he seemed to adhere by some fashion I could not determine. He descended the stonework like a lizard, crawling with his face pointing down from that dizzying height, his great cape billowing around him like wings. I dare say, my darling Mina, I was equal parts stupefied, and yet also held in awe. Yes, unnatural, and yet utterly alluring. I could not look away, hypnotized by his impossible movement, his ungodly manner. This is why I urge such caution. It is not only his violent temper, his thirst for blood, his demonic nature that we have cause to fear. It is his unholy yet undeniable charisma, perhaps the greatest weapon in his arsenal.
Name.
Do you know what these are all from?
Dracula.
No.
The
Yes.
the journals.
Yes and no.
The notes. The letters. The correspondence in Dracula.
No. Not a word of what I just read appears in Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Well,
That's a clue. And yet, it is from a form of it. We'll get into it later. So, my friends. Lauren, would you please roll a d13?
why me every time?
Because you react. Because Lauren does things like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite stuffed animal. Nobody mess with it or I'll be so upset. And then people
I don't
come
do
in.
that with my Lammy because I'm afraid for her.
Well, okay.
10.
10. How very interesting. Lauren,
What?
New character.
I have good news for you. I need you to roll a d4.
Oh, God. That's slightly better. That is a 4.
A 4.
Yes.
Then we will begin with Felix Ducat. When last we saw Mr. Felix Ducat, he left the program at Darkmoor College. He no longer wished to be a part of what they were doing there. But did he leave Darkmoor College itself? So as you pull up your Felix Ducat sheet, I will tell you that Zane, you may restore all your power. You are back at full 13 power.
Oh, wow. I forgot who he was. For a second, I was like, wait, who is this? All right, where is he?
I think he's the leftmost tab you have.
Oh, Darkmoor did. Oh, duh.
So Felix.
Oh, I was literally in it.
Perfect.
I'm doing great,
Felix,
guys.
You It was a few days ago that Felix had his tete-a-tete with the professor, where he sort of voiced his ultimate and unequivocal sort of frustration with this whole process. We're going to leave this entirely up to you for the moment, or you can roll for it if you'd rather. When Felix walked away, did he stay on campus or did he leave?
Felix went back to his dorm room to read some of his favorite and darkest poetry.
Then we will open with Felix in his dorm room, reading poetry.
Crying.
And crying softly. Felix, as you look over this poem, this dark, sad poem, poor Felix. I suppose I should do a bit of a recap, which is, yes, Felix had a twin brother. And said twin brother was, well, said twin brother sort of died in the mist because they left campus. It's really all Medina's fault, and yet Felix never really viewed Medina as the true culprit there. It was all about that professor who still kept insisting that they try to summon more characters. Never sat right with Felix. How his what the hell was your brother's name? Oh my god.
Friedrich.
How Friedrich died. And in any event, Felix is now withdrawn. He is no longer participating in the program, though while he was, he had, I believe it was Friedrich actually who summoned, which, I'm sorry, I'm actually having to go back further than I thought I would here, guys, because I was not expecting Felix Ducat to make a thing tonight.
Felix summoned the bee.
The king bee, yes. Felix summoned the king bee. Friedrich had summoned the, yeah. So Felix, with his strange king bee, and was Felix working on any, was Felix making his way along in any subsequent character? Had he made progress on anyone else? Were there books he was finding?
I'm
not sure that there were, actually.
I don't think.
So, I would say that as Felix reads these sad tomes, and this is actually very much your forte, would you make an analyze roll on the poem?
So remind me what system I'm
yeah,
using.
absolutely. Just grab a bunch of D8s. Remember that system? Yeah. Oh, dear.
Okay. Got one. How many?
You have to roll 4 D8s for this.
2. Keeping us on our toes today, baby.
Really are. I'm keeping myself on my toes because I feel like there's some key Felix thing I'm forgetting. Oh yeah, Felix was gonna hook up with Stremzaz, the Wicked Wanderer, aka Stacy. That was cool.
That's right. A pair of 4s.
A pair of 4s, which is music, is harmony, is the rhythm, and for analyzing a poem is maybe the best thing you could roll, other than that or 8. I would say are really good. Felix, you know that the loss of your brother is something you will carry with you forever. You are deeply saddened by the absence of your twin yet you've been so wrapped up in your poetry that this last poem that you read is so moving, is so deep and rich in its rhythm and in its statements of loss that it honestly gives you cause to look up for the first time in days. And as you peer outside, you see that it's dark on campus. And yet the campus seems active, alive in the night in a way that feels different and honestly feels a little wrong.
Felix goes closer to the window to just try to see if there's anything that he can discern.
Let's do a detect vibe under will, and it's 4 once again.
Okay. No matches.
You are not sure. You are not sure what is going on out there.
Given that he hasn't left his room for days and it's curious, he doesn't have much to live for. He's gonna go ahead and peer out of his door and maybe walk down toward the lobby or the quad or however he gets out of his dorm room.
I'll say that you open the door. Open here, I flung the door. Darkness there and nothing more. Felix, as you look out, the hall is empty. One thing you maybe notice is that like 2 doors down from you is one of the people who lives on this floor with you is Solomon. And Solomon's light is off. So Solomon is not here. Typically Solomon would be in his room practicing dance at this hour. But right now, Solomon, the room is dark. You hear no toes a tapping. Solomon is not here. But you go downstairs and you open the door. And you do see that standing about 10 feet from the door that you're opening is a figure dressed in all black. He's kind of like, he has very intense features, kind of like this kind of like intensity, and you notice it looks almost like he has some like grass in his hair or something. You're not sure if he was just like rolling around in the dirt, but he sort of looks at you and says, Good evening.
Who are you?
Oh, you sound like really cool to me when I hear you talk. I'm sorry, my name is Augustus.
Augustus, where are you from?
Oh, I'm from a place called Dilekagatan. Have you ever been hearing of it? I'm sure you understand what it means. It means tasty gardens, which these people around here, they are always wondering what I'm saying when I say I'm from Dilekagatan. They're like, oh, lekker, lick what? I'm like, no, you fool, lekker means tasty.
Yeah, there was a restaurant called that where I'm from.
That's
I used to go there with my twin brother who's died recently.
Oh my god, this is so sad. I have an idea. Why don't you invite me into your building there? Yeah? Do you want to invite me in? We can talk about this more.
What's your name again?
Augustus.
Augustus. Why do you want to come into my building?
I just would love to be able to enter and exit because that's all I'm saying, but you don't have to. It just would be nice for me to be able to come inside, that's all.
Does Felix have a... can you do a vibe check? Based
Absolutely.
On somebody?
Oh, this would be a read person, which is actually even better for him. You get to roll 6 sweet
baby.
D8s.
It does make it easier to stay on the accent when I can just play off that. That's great.
And it was not even an intentional thing I wrote. This is the nature of vampire you get to speak to, so congratulations.
All right, that is 3 8s.
3 8s. Oh, and that's mystery, my friend. That's the knowledge and the secrets, and you're learning secrets, and you know that this Augustus, despite how nice he talks and how he reminds you of home in some ways. Yeah, you can tell that he wants to be invited in for ill purpose. And the fact that he's asking for it means that he probably can't come in unless you invite him in. We won't go into if Felix specifically knows that much about vampires or such, but you're definitely getting a vibe of like, okay, well, this charming weirdo is really insistent that I invite him in, so I'd better not do that.
I don't think that's such a good idea. We are only allowed to come in here if we are students, and you don't look like a student. You have grass in your hair.
Oh, you noticed. How perceptive of you. What is your name?
I told you it's Felix.
Oh, right, I'm sorry. I was too busy looking at your jugular. Alright, Felix. Well, if you're not going to invite me, then I will just stay here in the bushes. And hopefully someone else will come who will be less discriminating. But I should have expected you to see through it. You clearly come from a place that is sort of intelligent and insightful and yeah.
That is true, and I have been through many terrible adventures recently. Again, I lost my dear twin brother, and I am devastated.
Well, I'm not really supposed to bite anyone yet, but would you like it to unalive? Because I could provide it to you.
Not yet.
Not yet? Oh. So maybe in the future? You're open to the possibility?
Perhaps.
What was your brother's name?
Friedrich. He was my twin.
You had a twin brother. That is actually going to probably be really difficult for you to get past on the count of he's your twin. I'm very sorry to hear it. I knew twins back in Leckegärten, Hans and Franz. Don't worry about it. I know that sometimes people find our words a little funny, but they weren't funny. But can I give you some advice, Felix? And bear in mind that though I really do need you to invite me in so that when we get the green light, I can slaughter everyone who lives in there. Yeah, this you see through my ruse. You know what it is I'm trying to do. You're too smart to fall for it. Somebody will eventually. I'm sure that you know that you are in the smarter half of everyone who lives in this building. I'm sure that you have a sense of this, yeah? The point,
absolutely.
Yeah, eventually someone will start inviting the vampires in and we will feed when we're allowed to, when our master says we can, yeah? But until this time, you have nothing to fear from me, and I will even give you advice. You're alive right now, yeah?
Yeah?
Well, you should really savor this, despite the horrors around you, because you really only get one shot at life. Even if you get a shot at undeath like I have had, it's not the same. Don't get me wrong, the fucking is still really good, yeah? And it's fun to jump really high and climb up walls and do all the vampire things, but I can't really feel my heartbeat anymore, and sometimes I can't feel the light of the sun, yeah?
I feel as if you would write beautiful poetry.
Oh no, I'm very bad at writing. Also, a thing I like to do is rhyme the same word with the same word. They asked me to write a dirty limerick, and I said penis too many times in the dirty limerick. And they said this is not good craftsmanship. So I killed them.
Maybe I should still live for a while, so I can not become like you.
Oh no, I was always not good at poems. That being said, I will say, as you say this to me, I don't know of any very, really good undead poets. I think that when you die, maybe creativity goes out the window for most of us.
That sounds awful. That's all I have now.
Oh, well then you should really try not to die.
Well, I appreciate you allowing me safe passage.
Oh, I am not allowing anything. If it were up to me, I would be sinking my teeth into you already, but my master has commanded me not to start eating the students yet. So I cannot.
Who's your master?
Oh, the Count Dracula, yeah? He was, as far as I can understand, he'll start walking with you a little away from the thing. It's he was there's this library over there where we all had to go and pay him obeisance. And I went there and did this, and it's called Holdfast Hall. And they have summoned him as like the character. He's a character, and they've summoned him. Yeah.
Oh, like the bees.
I don't know of beasts, but okay.
There are bees and ghouls.
Beasts and ghouls. Okay. Is this a game here? I'm unfamiliar.
It is.
Oh, bees and ghouls. Is this how we're explaining sex to children? I'll got to talk to you about the bees and the ghouls. The ghouls and the bees.
I don't think you're sophisticated enough to understand.
That's probably true. I'm not a sophisticated guy. I'm what we call a DJ. So.
Well, I've got to go.
Oh, okay. Yes, of course, please. I'm going to go continue stalking out the rear door of your building in case somebody is stupid enough to let me in, so that when the time comes, I can go in and again just suck the life from everyone inside. Oh, but it's been nice talking to you, Felix. I've enjoyed hearing your accent, and I hope that he pulls some flowers out of his hair and says, just a little gift from me you may take. Yeah, okay. Wiedersehen.
Wiedersehen.
He has Zach.
It was odd. Everything here is odd.
Felix. A cold wind whips across campus, and just based on where you just did walk with Augustus, you now find yourself. It's like we'll even say we'll even do a dolly zoom happens kind of as you're sort of looking down. That's sort of like the vertigo shot dolly zoom where you see in the distance. Hampstead Hall, because that's what it looks like. Also, right there, guys, is the El Dorado Fortress. Don't worry about it. It's a new pirate set. Don't worry about it. Anyway, so the point is, Felix, as you see that hall that brought you so much torment, and now it seems someone has summoned Dracula. And now there's vampires about to take over campus. What would you like to do, Felix Ducat?
He's not super afraid, but he does want to go to Hampstead Hall and just see what's going on.
I said Hampstead, but it is Holdfast, yes.
Holdfast.
It's Hampstead on Wednesdays and Holdfast here, guys. Don't worry about it. So, Felix marches up to Holdfast Hall, passing numerous vampires hanging around, as well as nervous students milling about. There is actually a line of vampires at the door of Holdfast. They seem to be waiting. But as you approach, you see a more familiar figure she's dancing and she's vibing and she's got a really good move. Body roll. But something is different about the voluptuous bikini team dancer. Now listen to me very carefully. She is still wearing a bikini, obviously, but her bikini is now super bat themed. It's like very vampire bikini, you know? Anyway.
He
and
approaches.
It's leather. And she's like, oh my god, hey, long time, no see. Guess what? I'm a vampire now. And she shows her fangs.
What?
Yeah.
What is happening here?
Want to see this crazy new dance I can do? Okay, here I go. And I'm misting. And she starts to generate mist, and she starts to hover, and her body becomes sort of translucent. And I'm misting, misting, baby. Yeah. Oh, yeah, baby, yeah. And she's just doing all sorts of dances.
Sometimes I wish you would have just let me die.
What? Oh my god. And then she very creepily just goes forward, her body turning back. You see this almost burst of this strange energy, but suddenly she's right upon, and she goes, oh my god. But Felix, if I'd let you die, I couldn't bite you later. And believe me, it'll be awesome when I do. It's what your brother would have wanted, for us to be together.
How do you know what my twin would want? Only I would.
Well, he summoned me, right? And I never even fucked him.
You did not?
No. I was too busy dancing.
He died alone.
I know. It was sad.
What?
But I know he'd want you to be alive, or maybe even undead. Because if you're undead, nothing can hurt you. And, oh, yeah. She's dancing crazy.
What is this line?
Oh my
What
god,
is-
you don't even have to wait in this line. Excuse me, you guys. He gets to come in. He has to meet my husband. Come on in. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm married.
Who is your husband now?
Oh my god, he's such a big deal. He's really famous. Come in here. You can meet him. And I have co-wives. Me and Wednesday and the Visionary. We're all his wife.
Not sister wives?
No. Wait. Okay, sure. Yeah. Wait, who said that? One of the vampires like sister wives. She's like, oh my god. Well, okay, if we're sister wives, then it's really messed up some of the stuff we've done. So I don't know. But maybe. In any case, she takes you in, Felix. And you notice that like the hall looks much the same. You do notice that Joe Hook is still at the desk looking incredibly haggard. You see no sign of the professor. You also don't see Medina or I think Medina's the only person I think Penny and Bradley both came along after you were. But she sort of is moving you in, and you see like the stacks back where you would find the books and everything. And she kind of moves you in that direction, and says, "Okay, hold on." As she turns to Joe, "Excuse me, have you seen my husband?" And he'll be like, "Oh, I think he turned into a bat. I'm not sure where he is. He might have gone in there, but it might have been a different one. I don't know." She's like, "Okay, you're doing great, Joe. Thank you so much." Joe, guess what? You get to watch me walk away. And Felix, she'll lead you into the stacks. As you enter the stacks, you spot someone you recognize. Solomon is sitting in a chair next to another one of those plant-like vampires with like weird, kind of like her eyebrows are made of wheat. And she's sitting there next to Solomon, being like super like, she's just like looking at him like, and Solomon is reading this book like deeply, going through, and she's just staring at him with unhidden hunger in her heart. Solomon's probably somebody okay, since you guys live in the same dorm, but he's not like a super best friend, I would imagine, just based on your different study paths. The other people you notice in here are another vampire like the one sitting next to Solomon. She's wearing like an old-fashioned dress, and she has she also has this kind of like weird, like her eyebrows are wheat, and she has flowers in her hair. And she is standing with Wednesday, and she's like looking at Wednesday like very demurely and very like scared, and Wednesday also looks kind of vampiric. And Wednesday turns and says, "Oh, hello, sir. Oh, my."
Wednesday?
Oh, Felix has returned. Miss. Oh, no, not you. I suppose I shouldn't call you Miss anymore. Bug.
I think that's a lovely name. Thank you so much.
Yes, Bug, Vermin. This is Felix Ducat. All right. Even though he is a mortal human, he is high above you, and you must treat him and serve his every need to understand.
Of course.
Him and Solomon, yes, miss. You understand? They are your
Yeah.
sirs, Bug. You'll do as they say, Bug.
I will.
Mm-hmm.
And she'll curtsy.
Okay. This one will do whatever you need. We're so happy to have you back, Felix. My husband... Oh, forgive me. And she kind of goes over and stands with the voluptuous bikini team dancer. Our husband is very happy. We'll be so happy to have you back.
But why am I so special?
Oh, because you can do what so few can do, and we're short on such people now. You can summon more characters like us, sir.
And Solomon? You are summoning Solomon?
Huh? Oh, Felix! I remember you. I never forget a name, unless you're boring, but I find you pretty interesting. Felix, how's it going? Just reading some books.
My brother was brutally murdered.
I know you bring it up all the time.
Yes, it's terrible what happened to him. It makes me a more brooding individual. And my
More?
poetry. Yes. But I wonder what are you doing here?
I met these really fun people, and they invited me to the stacks, and, I'm just following my heart.
And he is doing an extraordinary job at summoning characters. He has been reading so very well.
I'm so
And she'll-
sorry, sir. Your bug is speaking without being spoken to.
Oh,
I
no,
do
it's fine.
apologize. Do you want me to squash your bug for you, sir?
No. What is happening here? Why are you so rude? Well, you have always been rude.
Oh, no, sir. I've always been perfectly polite to you, sir.
Yes. Well, she can speak however she wants.
You're so permissive, sir. What a kind heart. Very well, bug. You may natter on as you'd like.
Thank you, madame.
And she'll bow deeply. And she'll take Felix's arm.
And say, now, what sort of literature do you favor?
It's all poetry. Dark poetry is what I love.
Oh, why don't we go look for some? I think that would be wonderful.
I would like to roll a charisma or a charm person.
You want to try to... Oh, you want to, charm Felix?
Yes.
Oh.
Am I allowed to?
Are you using your magic?
Yes.
Okay. You absolutely can. You can use some magic to try to, charm him into your service, absolutely. Would she know that... I'm gonna say Sarah, absolutely. Go for it. You can make your, so you're gonna have to spend some of your magic points, but you can go ahead and roll your, your charm roll. What do we
That's
roll?
a 7.
A 7. Okay, a 7 for you is an extreme success. It is 2. If you want to spend 2 luck, you could make it a vital.
No.
Go ahead and click the box then for charm, which you have a 102 in. So my gosh, you will also have to spend 3 of your magic points, but you should have been back up to 9. So set yourself to 6 magic points. Wow. Okay.
So she saw his hesitance entering, so she just wants him to do what Wednesday wants him to do.
Understood. Felix, would you, my dear friend, look under your will and make a resist coercion roll? Solomon, I would like, while this is happening for you, if you'll look under Solomon's sheet. Okay, cool. Roll 4 d8s and see if you have any matches across them. You probably have to re-roll, the one you have or whatever, but see if you get any matches across the 4.
Yeah, right. 2 4s.
2 4s. Okay, so you actually, I will say that, Solomon, you can tell that Sarah, whom you've been introduced to, and then she was bending down in front of the other one, and it was weird a moment ago when that.
But hot.
But I mean, it was undeniably hot. When vampires are punishing other vampires, it's yikes. So you watched all that and were like, this place is insane. You can tell that she is using some kind of and if in the movie version of this, Sarah Quill's eyes get And there's like a she gets like a weird eye light as like mesmerism is happening. Felix, what did you roll? Okay.
She needs magic.
No
to
matches,
charm
but my
someone?
dog just knocked something over.
Understood. Then deal with all of this. So as Felix, goodness gracious, as Felix basically is completely gobsmacked by Sarah, Felix, I will say that it actually feels good in this moment. There is this weight lifting off of you as Sarah is like just guiding you into the library, and suddenly you feel at peace. You feel that this girl who another girl was calling Bug, but then you said she can speak as she wants, she is putting you so at ease, and she is leading you to books. And let's face it, Felix, aside from your brother Friedrich, R.I.P., there is nothing that has given you more comfort than books. And she is leading you to books and being like, look at the books.
This is the best I've felt in so many days.
Oh, well, I'm so glad to hear that. And, do you know, that's what these books are here for. To make you feel good and happy. And so you can feel whatever you want to feel. Now, and she'll take both of Felix's hands and say, now, what is it that you would like to feel?
I want to feel despair, but also knowing that there's an end to the despair.
Oh. Well, that's wonderful, isn't it?
Does Sarah have a sense of the library and how to navigate it?
What's so fucking cool
Oh no.
is that you literally have a stat in Call of Cthulhu called library use. So you tell me, look up your library use. What do you have?
Oh no, it's not very high. It's 20.
20's not... things are doable, but yeah, it's not high. Okay. You want
Roll it?
Go ahead and do a library use roll.
No, it's a 33. So I will say,
Well, you know, I'm new around here. I haven't been here for a long time, so if you could show me where your favorite section is, I would love that.
Felix, he likes to go to the dark, the dark poetry section, wherever that is.
I think Felix actually, he is one of the characters who came in here and the only living one, in fact, who came in here and like summoned a character by reading. Medina didn't even do that in here. Felix actually was in this library reading a book. Or at least that's what somebody might have whispered to a doll before showing it to a thing. Let's not worry about that part. The point is that Felix, you do know your way around this library, and you're looking for a sort of dark story. While this is going on, though, Solomon, you've been reading your book of Radioland to Dreams, as Ingrid is just staring at you hungrily. Seeing Felix and Sarah walk back, do you want to like join them as they're perusing the stacks? Do you want to stay where you are? What is your vibe?
I would like to follow Felix since he's a slightly familiar face.
Yeah, he's hanging out with like
these
flat. He's a floor mate. He's a person you know. Sure.
Yeah, and these strange, slightly erotic people are wearing a little thin on me right now.
Understood. Yeah, there's a vibe where you're like, this is hot, but I don't feel great. I feel like the vibe could turn in this room so fast. So
I
Solomon,
haven't eaten lunch yet, so I don't have the energy for whatever they're putting out.
As you sort of stand up, and Ingrid says, "Okay, well, hurry back to me. I love to watch you read. It's so funny to watch your neck kind of just pulse with all your blood being pumped through you."
Well, that means you're going to enjoy watching me walk away, too.
Oh my god, I am. Especially, I'll be staring at the back of your feet so hard. I love your feet so much. Feet are like roots.
The feet?
Remember when you told me feet are like roots?
That is true, I did say that.
If I still had naturally occurring moisture in my body, I would have been so wet.
Say that again? You have no moisture in your body?
Only what chlorophyll provides. Don't worry about it. We'll see you soon, yeah? As you just as you go off after sort of them. So basically you can step through and Wednesday and the Voluptuous Bikini Team Dancer, they're just like staring at each other. Like, actually, you know what? I'm going to let your previous success in your detect vibe. You think they may just be like telepathically having some kind of vampire conversation, Wednesday and the Voluptuous Bikini Team Dancer. But you
I can read that.
You don't know what they're saying, but you're like they're vibing. So you just like walk past, and sure enough, you see just like right around the corner, Sarah is leading Felix down the books, and Felix is now looking at a section of books, and Sarah is just sort of standing there, and you can approach them if you'd like.
I would like. Probably can't sneak up on them, but I want to approach Sarah in a maybe like it's so non-threatening. Maybe I surprise her, but like. I'll tell you that her listen is pretty high, so if you're even if you're not trying to like actively sneak, let's just have you make a sneak roll. Roll 3 d8s and let's just see if you're sort of naturally kind of light enough. I mean, I know you're very light on your feet, but let's see how it sort of resolves here. 2 7s.
With 2 7s, which is patterns and repetition, and her focus is somewhat, I will say that you make it much closer to her than most people do before she's aware of you. But Sarah, you do, as he kind of gets you suddenly upon you, you can smell a living human. It's that one that Ingrid is so interested in.
She will keep a hand on Felix gently and turn and say,
Oh, Solomon, was there anything that you required of me? I'm at your service, of course.
I want to do the most elegant 3-step turn to enter the conversation. Do I have to roll for that?
You know what? You don't have to, but let's have you roll a dance for that, because you get to roll 6. So roll roll 6 d8s. Actually, this is if you'd like me to, I can just roll 6 d8s because I have them handy. If you don't want to like go, that's entirely up to you. If you don't want to spend the time of it,
I'll roll 3. You roll 3.
Perfect. I'll roll 3. All right.
You have more sets of dice now?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I'm just gonna roll this 1 3 times.
Well, now I know what to get you for Christmas.
Oh, thank you. I got a 3, an 8, and a 6.
Okay. I am not joking. I rolled a 2, a 5, and a 4. So no matches. I'm so sorry. You improbably. So we'll say. Trip. I'll say that you don't fully trip, but as you're trying to do this like 3-point turn to the conversation, you just misjudged the oh my god, that is improbable not to get a single match on 6. We just ships in the night. You kind of bounce a little bit and you like bump into one of the stacks and it kind of sets you off and you do not gracefully slide in. I'm very sorry.
You are such a wonderful dancer, Solomon.
She lies.
Solomon's pride is definitely wounded here. So he's like, oh, thank you. It just doesn't usually happen to me.
You know, if there's ever a masquerade ball or a cotillion or something like that, I would love to dance with you at some point.
Oh, thank you. I'd be very down to dance with you. But I do have a question for you.
Yes.
Do you often use charm to have men follow you?
Oh, well, you know, charisma is one of the most valuable assets an individual could have.
Oh, it's true. But it seemed a little bit more magical, though, but I guess so.
Oh, well, isn't everything magical around here?
Oh, isn't that such a cute way to think about things?
Perhaps you can use some magic in your steps.
No? Aren't you just a fun little vampire?
He is quite a good dancer. I hear him every day in his dorm room. His steps go tap, 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 tap. And sometimes it's so rhythmic that I write my poetry to the sound of his feet.
Hearing him say that, I'm going to turn and look intensely in his eyes and just a single tear. It's going to come down. Really?
It is true. You are such an inspiration.
Oh my God. Thank you.
I've told my brother Friedrich about it, but he was brutally murdered.
And she'll pat him on the back.
Same thing. I'll do the same, like it's routine for all of us in the school. Like, yeah.
Felix, you should really like You should pay for some people in a drive-thru, just as like a way of remembrance. In any case,
My brother was brutally murdered.
So I want to pay for these people's Starbucks behind me. So let them know that today is the day of brutal murder remembrance, and today they shall drink the blood of my brother's memory.
You seem a little delirious. What is a drive-through?
Oh, it was from a fantasy I had once.
Oh, of course. Well, Solomon, you have served as such an inspiration to him. Perhaps you can help him select a book.
Sure, I'm guessing something dreary.
Yes, you know me well.
I do.
Dreamy but hopeful.
But hopeful.
If you're gonna help him, actually, this is great. Could you both roll a d13, both Felix and Solomon? Moses,
Yes.
obviously, it means
Not me.
a
I got
d20,
it.
but you're rolling the other thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like mine are way more suspenseful, so I have to keep rolling.
Yeah.
Zane.
It's a 12.
Oh, God.
12. I love 12.
I got a 13.
You roll a 13. Okay.
Yeah.
So, tell you what, I'm gonna roll a d13 because I, we like the odds to be a little higher in this. So this will be to see if this triggers a horror surge.
I feel like this would be good for Sarah Quill. I mean, you're the vampire.
I'm gonna do this up here and maybe. You guys
I'm
will be able
still
to
at
see
the
it.
mercy of the mists.
Ooh, that's true.
It's a
A
7.
3.
Boring.
Oh.
It's a 7 on top. Okay, so yeah, I know it looked like a 13 because that's what's facing you guys, but the top is a 7. Okay, so no horror surge, but we did get one. Thank you so much, Moses.
You're welcome.
I like that it's so much worse, yeah, because you roll it so many times for it to then finally be one. Okay, so basically I was giving you advantage on this to try to find an appropriate thing, and your 13 was fun to advance. Oh, I didn't even show the dread clock yet. What am I doing? To advance our pretty little dread clock up to 2 here. There we go. Bada-boom. That's great, but the 12 actually was the perfect thing for the kind of poetry you're looking for, because 12 is Merkshire, and you have found a poem of Merkshire, a poem of tremendous woe. I'm gonna actually have you roll one more thing because there's 2 directions I could go. Yes, Sirach will.
Would I have seen the book?
This is interesting. Okay, Zane, roll a d13. Wait, I have to figure out the exact breakdown of this. A 13, it'll be the craziest part. Roll a 13 if you can, but otherwise it'll be... Okay, cool. What do we got? 1.
Oh, no.
That's fine. Not a problem. 1 is fine. You... Yes. You have found a book, and this is actually very interesting, Felix, because you were reading The King Bee Needs His Honey. You were reading that old, venerable sort of like song. But you have just found a poem called Anaphias. Oh my god, you'll actually... Yes, Anaphias. Alright. Yeah. Okay. Sorry, guys. My brain's going fast. Apologies. Okay. Here we go. Felix, this book is notable for you because you did... There was some... When you were reading that King Bee Needs His Honey poem, this book
this name, you remember it being in some of like the liner notes. Felix, do you think you are someone who do you read all of like the historical context of poems? Are you really interested in like knowing like the life of the stuff, or do you just want the words on their own?
He is hungry for all knowledge related to poetry.
Hungry for all knowledge related to poetry. And why, look at what I have here. Classic love poetry. You'll get a +2 in knowledge. I need you to roll for me and analyze. I'm going to give you half for your other one as well. Please roll 7 d8s. Let me know any matches.
There have to be a match. I mean,
In 7 d8s, well, in 8 d8s, you still technically don't have to have a match until you roll 9. If you roll 9 d8 and none of a match, then you're in trouble.
double 5s.
Double 5s. All right. Oh, and that's arithmetic, which actually is evaluation. And okay, arithmetic is a good one for this evaluation. But before you finalize this, I know that you've seen how precious they are, but the vibe around here is different. I think that Felix understands that he's putting some things together here. Would you like to spend any power to either re-roll some of those other dice or to lock one in as another 5 so you can have a 3rd degree success? Because I think, Felix, you probably suspect you would need at least a 3rd degree.
Let's lock a 3rd degree.
Understood.
In,
so
how much power for that?
You spend 5 power, so your power goes only to 8. But Solomon, you watch as Felix draws this book out and his eyes are going wide. Sarah, you also have a sense. Oh, how interesting. And Sarah, this name Onophias does not necessarily have to be unfamiliar to you. And Sarah is not an unintelligent individual. Sarah, I'd like for you to just roll a flat int. It's the orange box up at the top.
A 9.
A 9. It's pretty damn good. That's an extreme success. You know the name Onophias. Back in your time in Castle Caliginoira, where you went with your husband, where you met many of your dearest, best friends, you know that they were researching a mage from a long time ago called Onophias. But Felix, with this analysis and your sort of a combination of your memory and your understanding, I almost want to... I don't think I have enough of it sort of in the best of shape. You're remembering that poem. This song. The king bee needs his honey. And you are remembering that it is considered an allegorical telling about the king of the time and a court magician named Onophias, and demands that he placed upon her. The king bee was the king, and the queen bee was not his actual wife. It was this court magician upon whom he was putting these demands and turning the screws. I think even from those liner notes, you're familiar that Onophias had a bride. Her name was Ula, and she was hanged. It was a very sad tragedy, and you hold what you now realize is an old poetic telling of this tragedy in your hands. You're not sure if it will give you hope, but you know that it will definitely... You perhaps hope that it will, but if nothing else, you know that it has the sort of dark feeling upon it. I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna go grab a guitar or not, because I don't have this complete is the problem.
Just do it.
I might.
I might just read you some of it and not sort of sing it because the guitar is not in tune. I'll tell you that's part of the problem.
Also, we can't often hear.
You
with the
guys
guitar.
can't. They can. They can.
Okay, but it's important that our character's here.
That's fair.
Watch it on YouTube later.
You'll have to watch
Plug
it.
it.
Do your homework.
I don't even take notes.
But Felix, I'm going to so I'm simply going to read you some of the stanzas, which Felix you could even remember. Okay. The king bee buzzed into the court, inquiring for his queen, but his love's attendants spurred him out. She wouldn't yet be seen. So the king bee buzzed around the back to seek the servants' hall, but a friendly guard said the way was shut. He couldn't come to call. The king bee then demanded that the queen be brought to him, for the king bee needs his honey and must be granted every whim. The queen's handmaidens buzzed the king and told him she was sick. They inquired if he might like to find some way to mend her quick. The king bee said he'd not go on any damn fool noble quests, for the king bee needs his honey, and he'd passed no further tests. The attendant whispered with quiet grace that the king was in the right, but the queen was vain and sought to be a far more beauteous sight. They begged and pleaded with their king that he'd wait until tomorrow, for the queen needed one night's beauty's rest, so she felt no further sorrow. The next morning began with an angry cry as the king roused the whole hive. The king bee would have his honey now if they want to stay alive. Felix, you have a sense, holding this book, that through crazy dice roll coincidences, by the way, there is a chance for you to find more beauty and understanding of something. Because while the king bee wound up being this grotesque creature brought literally to life, he's an allegory, he's a metaphor. And at some point you have this sense that the sort of relentless anger and hunger of the king bee represents something that is actually deeply true in the breasts of men. But this is a different kind of poem you hold. This poem will get to a different, more direct truth. It will tell you something about what was really going on in the kingdom of Holdfast so very long ago. All you have to do is read it. Yet at the same time, you know the power that can be unlocked from these books. But Felix, I think with everything that's going on with your pre-existing connection to this work in the form of the king bee, the fact that you could even have the king bee with you while you're reading, your understanding and just whatever it is, you know that you can summon some character from this work without any issue. And you know that if you start reading, you're going to.
I have found my book. I will read now.
Wonderful.
And she'll slowly guide him down against the bookshelf and sit cozily next to him.
Okay. Solomon, you're still holding your book, I'd imagine.
Yes.
Solomon, would you like to join us?
No, I'm going to do some stretching while I read. I'm just going to lift my leg super high against the bookshelf. Just, this is how I like to read my books.
That's wonderful.
You think so?
Perhaps you could help me be that flexible. I know my husband would appreciate it.
You guys are definitely a horny bunch of newcomers, aren't you?
What does horny mean?
I'm gonna get really embarrassed. I feel blindsided.
He doesn't know that term.
As you're sort of about to say this, though, a voice says,
newcomers, or perhaps in the case of this gentleman here, I am the newcomer. And Felix, kind of like drifting out of the shadows. You haven't even quite opened the book, but there is this striking man you recognize from books as Dracula.
Sarah will reposition herself to like bowing on the floor, not as sexual as she was in front of Wednesday, but bowing on the floor.
Ah. And Miss Quill, you seem to be in more control of yourself. You're no longer trying to eat my living guests.
No, of course not.
Count. Would she know what to call him? Just Count,
She
or
would know to call him Count, absolutely.
Of course not, Count. That was a mistake on my part, and it shall not happen again.
See that it does not. Someone has already spoken to you. Perhaps my lady wife, Wednesday.
Yes. She is very thorough in her punishments, and I was sent here to make sure that my new very dear friend here, Felix, completes his reading, which he was about to do.
Felix Ducat. Your name is
Yes.
known to me. Felix, you summoned the King Bee, is this correct?
Yes, I have been known to summon.
Then your
You-
presence here is... You are most welcome.
You are also from the books?
Yes, I've summoned here like any of your other characters, but no offense to my many brides, the King Bee, the Ghoul, and any others who have ventured forth. I am a bit more robust of a character, thus a bit more powerful.
There are vampires outside waiting for you.
I know, and I make them wait because I am their king. I am their ruler. They serve me. Is this not right, Miss Quill?
That is absolutely correct, Count.
You serve me.
I serve you.
she bows again.
There
And
is no
it-
request I could make of you that you would not fulfill right now, is there?
Of course. I have been commanded, nope, reverse that. I shall fulfill any request that you have for me.
Can I give like a nervous look to Felix hearing that?
Yeah. I am no monster. I have no need to prove what my followers are willing to do for me. Not simply for the point. But the time will come when you will both see, he sort of turns to Solomon and Felix, you will both see what it is my subjects are willing to do for my slightest whim.
Yeah, there was one guy outside my dorm room trying to be invited in so he could eat everyone.
Who was this doing this?
He Augustus.
Augustus. Wife. And out of the shadows, the visionary shows up. This vampire, she's in kind of like this like weird, like she's in like very short khaki shorts, and somehow she's even bustier than she had been before in her you know, kind of very like safari gear look, and she's got her camera, and she says, "Yes, husband, what do you need? Need me to take some pictures? Boudoir photography? Is that what you need? You want to see it? You want to see it?" And he says, "Later. For now, go and find Augustus. He is waiting around the homes of the living, lurking, trying to get a leg up on feeding. I have not permitted this. Punish him how you'd like, but make sure it is considerable." She says, "Oh, I have just the thing. Oh my god, I have just the thing. And then can I take pictures of him in his suffering and show them to you?" He says, "Of course. I thought it would go without saying." "Okay, great. I'll be right back, husband. Ciao,
Just-
babe."
Please don't mention I said anything. He was just weird.
Oh, don't worry. I don't even know who you are. So I won't mention that this is your doing. Can I take a pic? He says, no pictures of my friend Felix. Okay, fine. Oh, wait, I do remember you, Felix. Yeah, you were here. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Ever since I went vampire, it's like hard for me to keep faces. All I'm seeing is blood.
It's okay. I am insignificant.
Oh my god.
That is so hot how sad he is.
Doug says, but he is wrong. Felix and his friend Solomon are not insignificant, but especially Felix, having already proven his ability to summon to increase my ranks. What book is it you are looking at now, Felix Dugat?
He says it, the Anaphias poem. I don't know what the name is called. It
is unfamiliar to me, but it speaks to you.
Yes, there's something here that explains much.
That explains much. Then I wish for you, Felix Dugat. You have anything you need. No matter how small a request, Miss Serikville will fulfill it. And if she cannot, if it is outside her meager abilities, I give you now a right that no one else in this whole building has. You may call on me directly, and I will see to whatever it is you require to help you with this task.
I do appreciate what you have shared, Count Dracula. I had a twin brother who was brutally murdered. Are you able to bring him back to life with your magic?
If this is what you require in exchange for my assistance, consider it done.
Oh, I am so grateful to you. I can't believe this. There is hope. Thank you, Count Dracula.
And thank you, Felix, for seeking an understanding. I will return with your brother directly. I now make this even before other goals I have had. There are those others like yourself, students, I wish to find out there. Those would summon before I wish to track down. But no, you make this request, and I have sworn to uphold it. This is now my next mission. Your brother, what is his name?
Friedrich Ducat. We are identical twins.
Yes, I remember this from the records of the professor. Your identical twin, Friedrich Ducat, will be returned to you very soon.
I am so grateful.
I will collect his soul myself. And damn any who would stand against me. Who would stand against the Lord of the Night. Let the leeches with their soul catchers, let them laugh as they try to stand against me. No, I shall pull his soul from the mist itself. I am the mist. Yes, I go now. Solomon, good luck to you as well.
I want to start just give him applaud. That speech was very passionate.
Sure thing. Okay, he walks out. He seems happy to do that. That seems to be like no. He seems fine with that. Sarah, he didn't try to hurt you, so that's a good sign.
I can't believe he's able to bring back my dear brother who's brutally murdered.
I know.
Of course, but you must hold up your end of the bargain.
I will. Reading is my life. Of course I will read. I will summon. I will do what is needed.
Wonderful.
And she'll sit back next to him and like lean up against him.
Perfect. All right. At this time, I need Sarah Quill. I'm gonna actually say that Felix,
you cannot do the following because you are too enamored of your book. Although, I'll ask you one question, and this is a thing where, like, there would genuinely be, like, it would help in some ways, maybe hinder you in others. Do you want to find the king bee before you do this? Would you rather read this clean, or would you rather bring the king bee into this process?
So he knows enough to know that the king bee was involved. And
You without a doubt, you understand that it's like, what's a good, and I mean, there are so many different, like what's one of the some people say like imagine that you summoned Humpty Dumpty. Like you summoned Humpty Dumpty from the short and, had a great fall. But certain works suggested that Humpty Dumpty was a metaphor for, like, the downfall of Cardinal Wolsey, for example. So it's like, you've read that and you know about that and you're like, oh, okay, interesting, I've summoned Humpty Dumpty. Some people say he represents this, but right now I've just summoned, like, the nursery rhyme version. I could now read a epic poem about whoever the hell Cardinal Wolsey is, or is he? That's one of the. It's one of the theories. Also, Richard III. I should have gone with Richard III. Sorry. So basically, some people say that Humpty Dumpty is about Richard III. So you could either summon Humpty Dumpty, or you could read Shakespeare's Richard III and summon that Richard III, or summon someone from that. That's the idea. The point being, that there's like it's different levels of knowledge, different levels of kind of the thing. So if you want to color your context, you suspect I'll out of game, I'll say that if you bring, and I think he would understand some intrinsic version of this. If you were to do this with the assistance of the king bee, you'll go faster, but you will be locked into certain characters. If you read it yourself, you might find a completely different character. Like bringing Humpty Dumpty along means you're gonna get Richard III, whereas if you just read Richard III, you might be like, ooh, no, interesting, I'm getting some other character. What's the lady in Richard III who's so mean? The
I wish I was as informed on history as you were.
It's fine.
It was Linda. It was Linda. Sorry, I totally forgot.
I think it's Queen Margaret, but okay.
I will say that he is. I feel like he is determined on his own right now to read it. He's still kind of in a broody state, but he doesn't want any to spoil his...
Give me honey or I'll stab you to death with my sneak. Okay, cool.
But he knows it's an option.
It's a resource you could go to if needed. Okay, perfect. Perfect.
Is there anything I can do to, like, I know it doesn't exist in Call of Cthulhu, but like bardic inspiration or something?
You could, and given you're like, you're not nothing at this stuff, I would say that you can. I mean, the fact that you're just literally assisting him, we can definitely get into that when he starts making his rolls.
Okay.
But for now, I would love for you to make a listen roll. And Solomon, I'd also like for you to make a listen roll. Solomon, your listen is under your vitality. It's 2 dice. You just roll 2 d8s.
By the way, for any new viewers, we're all in different systems. All of these characters.
Yeah. Felix and Solomon at this point happen to be in the same one, but yes, generally speaking, everyone's different systems. It's madness.
I am imagining.
That's understood. Solomon, you're reading Radioland. You're reading Radioland Dreams. You're reading about those, and the stardom that they had. Remember, that's what you were so attracted to, was how famous they got. Sarah Quill.
Yes.
What did you roll for your listen?
I wasn't aware I had to.
Sorry, D100. You're
68.
rolling against a 79.
Oh, 68.
It's a success.
Almost.
Oh, yes.
I'm going to roll under
Had
the
it
system.
backwards.
Don't worry about it.
Thanks.
Oh, it's perfect. So basically, you're there, like they're reading. But you hear something. You hear something a couple of stacks over.
What do I hear? What is it?
With a regular success, you can't tell. Something about it sounds familiar.
Dangerous?
In a sense.
I will take a defensive position
Mhm.
to potentially protect Felix.
You don't think it's dangerous to him.
Oh, okay.
Would you like to go investigate?
No, she wants to, but she won't because she has to make sure that he gets his work done.
Okay, so Sarah Quill just like she can feel that something's happening, but she stays
Really
here.
wants to,
And she's
but
like
she
she's
won't.
like looking at like the stacks and she can't hear anything. And as our sort of like our view sort of like pulls back past the stacks. Just 2 stacks back. Our image falls on that of a glowing body. Etienne. In the stacks of the library. Shifting very slightly as Wednesday is entangled with him. Their bodies thrusting together. Wednesday saying, basically, Wednesday saying, yes, sir. And this would bother her so much, wouldn't it, sir? And he says, well, if she has been such a disappointment to you, she deserves it. As they continue, and Wednesday, and that actually, we'll say that makes Wednesday come, and that's where we'll end this session.
Oh, but
You
she
were
doesn't
just
know.
screaming so loud, no one heard anything of that.
I know. That's why I was like,
When did this turn into a soap opera? Okay.
Yeah.
I am so mad. Oh. She knows he's like that, but like I thought they were in it together, and like he knew if she had to do some stuff here.
Yeah, we're
It's
watching.
all consent and understanding, and that's a betrayal because they didn't have an
Here's-
agreement for
We're
that.
watching their
Maybe she
fictional
would've asked.
relationship fall apart.
Here's the thing. That's how it should work, but that's not what's going on with Etienne. And
Oh, I know.
oh, Etienne's a garbage guy, but he's cool.
Okay, now I'm mad at Etienne because before I was like, no, it's fine.
But what's Dracula gonna think about Etienne fucking one of his wives?
Yeah, it's getting juicy.
The king bee buzzed into the court inquiring for his queen. But his love's attendants spurred him out. He wouldn't yet be seen. I think we're probably gonna get to some cool information. What's the deal with
I just have to say, I appreciate how you write poetry and songs specifically for this game. And they're not just cheesy little poems and songs. They're amazing.
Oh, well, thank
Yeah.
you. That's so kind of you.
Yeah.
I wish I don't quite, the guitar's like, I need to replace a whole string on that guitar, so I'm not quite at a thing where I can, sorry. But it's
Philip, you need to buy a trumpet, a trombone,
I can't play
a
either of those.
drum,
Can't play
An
any of
auto
those.
harp.
I could
an
play
auto
an auto
harp.
I can play
Just
the
in
shit out of an
case.
auto harp because it's
Just
auto.
in
So you
case.
just hit the button and then you go bling da ling 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 bling da ling ling
Yeah.
ling bling da.
like what if
The
we
string is not an E or a B, it is the G string weirdly. And it's because I don't need to get into it. It should be the E or the B, but it is actually the G string on this particular guitar that's just a mess.
What was the name for the
Bugle?
no, when we went to the princess breakfast.
Oh, the page? No, what was the
What was
Harold the
name
Herald?
of- Harold the Herald.
Harold the Herald.
Yeah, you need one of those trumpets in case we have a herald.
That's true.
Like you're not prepared.
Every girl is a princess. That is that song. Well, guys, thank you so much. This was a fun one. I'm glad that I'm glad that had Felix gone a different way, he would have met other characters. Had he left campus, this would have been a different thing. But I like the idea that Felix is back reading on campus. He's been brought back into it. It's very fun. And now we have Sarah and Solomon and Felix.
Totally forgot who he was when he said his name. I was like, that name's familiar, but
very good.
Which one is this?
But actually, oh my god. Okay, guys, I want everything. Okay, so I'm gonna level with everyone now. I want everything to remain completely up to the dice, but given that 2 weeks from tonight is Friday the 13th and a multiple of 13, and that game is a huge deal that will dictate not only what happens to many beloved characters, but also it will literally dictate what the Halloween thing this year is. I don't know that it's a week of blood.
Oh.
Might not be a week of blood. It might be a Trow House type thing. It might be a third thing. So, with that in mind, next week I might not have every option available. I might try to keep us to the ones that will lead through. This one just became a big deal because what goes on with summoning, with Anafias, could really give a key to things. Obviously, this is a big deal. The island's a big deal. Medina and Bradley and various things are also a big deal. So we'll see. We're probably not going back to the documentary crew with the Orphans of the Eldritch next week, is what I'm saying. Or maybe we will. I don't know. Anyway, this was a delight. Thank you all so much for playing. We have other games on this channel. Join us on Sunday for Strange Lore. Now in a 7:30 p.m. time slot on Sunday nights. Lauren and Liv will be there, and maybe some other guests, or maybe we might ease back into it with just them and then start bringing more people. Because we kind of had like a weird cliffhanger if there was about to be a lunch or an ice cream thing with just them and Ted. Join us on Monday for more theme party. It's just an adventuring party made of themes. Don't worry about it. They figured it out eventually. They went boom, 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 boom. They were like, I see what's going on with this stupid game. On Wednesday, Lauren, I don't know if you're ready for this, but do you know what Wednesday is?
Formation Nation.
It is Formation Nation, so
I will be ready.
Time to
I'm
see
not
more Formation
right
Nation
this
fun
second.
at 7:30 this coming Wednesday. Then a week from tonight is episode 116 of Blood from a Stone. So join us for that and that will be us getting into the true month of October. All those games are October games, but except for that. No, all those are. Yeah, October 1st is Sunday, so every game I said is October. Domtober. So with that all in mind, go to our Discord to interact with us. Go to our YouTube to watch old episodes. Go to the wiki to see all the cool stuff. I think we have even more of Blood from a Stone has like micro or like has the 1 sentence descriptions on it, so you can kind of really figure out what's been going on with all that stuff in a great way. Do we have any people to thank or say hello to in chat and everything?
Oh, correct. Yes, we do. We absolutely do. I usually have it ready. Okay, so we actually had a raid this evening. Okay, I'm gonna say
hi, raid. Unless you're all gone, in which case, bye, raid.
It's Orsaka Narrative Universe.
Oh yeah,
Orsak Narrative Universe. I'm sorry.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Yeah. And Orsak Narrative Universe also came in and gave out 4 community sub gifts this evening. Super generous.
Oh, that is so nice of you. Thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah, that was awesome. Like coming through with a crew of raiders and bestowing gifts unto 4.
Very cool. Thank you. Would any of you like to plug any things or?
I'm gonna start.
Go.
I'm gonna do it this time. So I like to party, and I also, if you like bonsai trees, I do little tree education at Zane's Trees at TikTok and Instagram.
Oh my god, I like to party.
Party.
Oh my god, that was fucking funny what you just said.
Go, Moses.
Are you telling me to dance or?
Plug and dance.
I don't have anything to plug, but if we're dancing.
I do have a Twitch channel that I'm not on often, but you can follow it if you want. I might surprise you one day.
I like how the cell just gets like sadder every time. It started
I
as
know.
like, I'm streaming this week. Come watch. It'll be fun. You can pay bits to make me do this. And now it's like,
I was thinking about it the other day, and the thing that totally like ruined my vibe is this one room in the game I was playing that I can't beat because it's glitched. But I was actually thinking of resuming it and just like calling the stream like the definition of insanity and just trying it over and over until I do actually do it. I don't know. I am going to do something because the Mortician's Assistant, the first game that I streamed, has a special thing going on in October.
oh,
So
you have a new thing to play now. Okay, perfect. Well, great.
well, it's the same thing, but it has a new fun thing. So I will be doing that at some point on a Thursday at 7:30 Pacific. Don't know when. Follow the Long Lost Lord Discord though, because I'll put it in there. Leave me alone, Phil. I get stressed about these things.
Yeah, you're great. It's fun. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everybody.
You can find all of our information on the About page.
That is it. Yeah, that's a good catch-all.
I'll put the link in the chat.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all so much for watching. This has been
Wait.
a blast. We will see you all next time. Until then, have a dreadful night. Yeah.